Okay, so I was wrong. Even though my pick was wrong, what I said, all right, I'm just going to take it. My pick was wrong. David Benavidez is the monster we expected or that he was advertised as. I wanted to see if he'd be able to do it against a top level guy like Caleb Plant. Now, Caleb lacks the power to obviously keep him off of him. That's why he was stalked all night, or at least past the fifth round. Once the fifth round came, that was a totally different fight. David Benavidez turned it on and I think took over the fight, which is obviously why he won. Now the scorecards were a mess. I think Caleb won the first 5 rounds. Maybe, yeah, maybe about the first 5 rounds, Caleb won. After that, it was all David Benavidez for the most part. Now Caleb, I said don't stand in front of him, and that was his downfall. But he had no choice. I think he realized halfway through, maybe around the 5th or 6th round, that I'm not going to be able to run the whole night. I'm not going to be able to hold and clinch the entire night. I'm going to have to fight, and I am going to go out on my sword. I'm not going to just back down. So if he's going to beat me, he's going to beat me. But he lasted 12 rounds. He took some big shots, especially later in that fight. And he was able to weather them, I guess. But it was, man, it became a beating at the end of that fight. No issue with the actual decision. I think David Benavidez won the fight. But the scorecards were a mess the whole night. Chris Colbert, just to touch on it, he didn't win that fight. That was a robbery. He let Chris Colbert come back and make it look like a competitive fight. Now, I do think he won the fight still. Colbert lost that fight. But that's not the point. You allowed the judges to make this dreadful decision, which they did all night. Because that Caleb, the decision was correct. The scorecards were dreadful. One judge had him winning 3 rounds. He won at least 5. He won about 5. Let's say 5. Because at least 5 would mean it was a draw, and I don't think it was a draw. I think David Benavidez edged that fight, especially with the pressure he put on in the later rounds. He couldn't keep him off him. Caleb couldn't keep David Benavidez off him at all. It was worse than in the Canelo fight, as Canelo stalked him all night, but Caleb got the better of the exchanges. But Canelo was breaking him down. Later in this fight, David Benavidez was getting the better of those exchanges, which if you look at just skill set, you wouldn't think that's going to happen because Caleb's a better natural boxer. Once David started tapping him with the jab and actually landing it and throwing it and landing it, I knew it was only a matter of time. And I was even wrong about that. I thought he would get the knockdown. Nothing. Caleb stood tall. He showed his heart. But he's just a notch below. And it's really the power. It's the power that keeps him away from being in that elite group. Because other than that, there's really nothing stopping him. His speed is elite. I mean, his cardio, he started to wane, but he has to run so much because of the power difference. I don't see him being able to beat the elite guys at this weight class. Now, he beat Anthony Durrell, but Anthony Durrell was 38 at the time, and he's just a notch below that elite level as well. So, good fight, but it looked like it was only a matter of time. And kudos to Caleb for lasting. Everybody now is, of course, they want to see the Canelo fight, Canelo versus Benavidez. Yeah, I guess that's what's next.